VOA Southeast.
Faith Time is our weekly conversation on matters of faith, and joining us this morning is the Reverend Dr. Mary Jane Ledgerwood, rector of Trinity Episcopal Church in Mobile. She's the new rector of Trinity Church and also the first woman in their 175-year history to serve in that role. We want to talk in general first. So what are the challenges a new reverend or pastor has when coming to a new church?
At the beginning of, a year ago, we were in the middle of a pandemic at the beginning of it, and truly a time of the unknown. So crazy enough, it was, I was in the midst of all of this that I began deeply and prayerfully discerning what ultimately was my call to Trinity, God's call. And so entering into relationship with these good people of any parish at any time is a time of listening and sharing, and of course, worshiping together, which certainly was made more challenging in the time of Corona. One of the first things that the vestry, who's like our board of the Episcopal Church, and I decided together was to offer in-person worship, because they had not been together as everybody else, for over 7 months. So now we've been together 5 months, and one of the first things we did was just start in-person worship. So I've also upgraded our media now, and we've added another service, another in-person service, and we broadcast live at that 10:30 service on Facebook and soon YouTube. So we're safely adding Christian formation for everyone, from our children to our adults and with our nursery. And so we're just trying to be safe in the midst of all this COVID restrictions and getting people back together to be in life and ministry together again.
What are some of the challenges you see as a woman in a role that some may consider traditionally filled by a man?
Well, honestly, I think it says more about Trinity than it does about me that they called a female rector for the first time in 175 years. I'm clearly comfortable with who I am as a woman and as a spiritual leader and pastor, and I'm grateful that the good people of Trinity are comfortable with me and my experience and qualifications. The Episcopal Church only began ordaining women in the 1970s. Some people may not really realize that, but now 50 years later, it seems Trinity is comfortable with the female rector, which I'm grateful for. And I think this reflects on the whole Episcopal Church and the inclusivity of who we are, because we welcome all people, absolutely no exceptions. So Trinity, is just like the entire Episcopal Church, as a loving and open congregation to all people.
Not all Christian denominations favor or even allow women as clergy. What are some arguments for it?
Well, I don't really view it as my position to argue any case with another denomination. I don't want to insert my beliefs on someone else's, but instead I'm a huge advocate for ecumenical, interfaith, and community relations, beyond the Episcopal Church. And I have enjoyed many, what you might call cross-denominational relationships during my ministry. I've served throughout different dioceses, Virginia, Maryland, and now here in the Central Gulf Coast, and for almost 20 years as an ordained priest. And everywhere I've served, I've reached out to my clergy colleagues of other denominations and religions, and I want to do that same thing here in Mobile. Together, I believe, as I'm sure most people do, that we're stronger to serve God and the people of God when we're together.